What's up, party people? Welcome back to the SVT Sports Podcast. My name is Vince. I am in the driver's seat, and Sam is still out on assignment, and that assignment is moving into his new house. Tyler, you're on, though.
Yeah, I just got back from Arizona, celebrated my birthday out there. Got to spend some time with family.
Yeah. Happy
cool,
birthday,
man.
bud.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
And
guys.
on the 3s and 4s is Tim. I decided you've been promoted to the 3s and 4s.
Yes. Oh, it feels so good to be on top.
All right. Yeah. Save it. Next week, you'll be back down to the 1s and 2s, I think. But,
Dang it.
This show will dictate your promotion or demotion.
there we go. All right. So we're having fun for now, but it's time to get a little depressy for Vince, and we'll talk NFL scores. Surprise, surprise, the Niners didn't win. We'll highlight that in a second. But as for the rest of the league, on Thursday, Arizona with 2 pick sixes win over the New Orleans Saints 42-34. On the Sunday slate, Dallas over Detroit 24-6. Basically, Ezekiel Elliott had 2 touchdowns, and that was it for the scoring. That game was kind of boring, apparently. Washington beat Green Bay 23-21. Green Bay's on a 3-game losing skid. Hasn't happened in a long time for Aaron Rodgers.
They suck, man.
Yeah, they're bad. Tennessee over Indianapolis 19-10, and it sounds like Matt Ryan is getting benched for the rookie going forward. So that could be the end of Matt Ryan's career.
He's not just benched though. He's relegated to 3rd string.
Yeah, it's bad. It is real bad. Carolina sells off their best player and immediately goes out and beats Tampa Bay 21-3. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah. New York Giants continue their winning ways. 23-17 over Jacksonville. Baltimore over Cleveland 23-20. I can't wait till Lamar actually starts playing well again, and then they start winning even more. It'll be nice. Cincinnati over Atlanta 35-17. New York Jets win again over Denver 16-9. I think we might have been wrong about Denver, gentlemen. I think they're just not that good.
This whole season, I've been anything on the West. I've just been wrong about everything. Everything.
It's been a nightmare. Las Vegas over Houston 38-20. The Raiders are supposed to beat them. I'm sure Sam was happy to see that score. We didn't actually get to see the game because it's not on local TV because the Raiders aren't in the Bay Area anymore, so they don't have to put them on TV every week.
Yeah, it's so weird not to see the Raiders on TV anymore.
Yep. I mean, they'll still make it plenty of times on the TV in the Bay Area over the next few years, but they don't have to do it every week now. So this is going to be a process that I think is going to keep continuing. Like you're going to see them less and less and less until it's basically just the primetime games and like 2 other random ones. But yeah, so that, I mean, Sam can rant about that next week when he's back on. Seattle over the Los Angeles Chargers 37-23. Seattle's leading the NFC West.
I was going to tell you if I told you week 7 the NFL Seattle was going to be in first place over San Francisco and LA Rams, would you have believed me? There's no way
I would not have. I would have called you a goddamn liar. And but here we are. Football happened. Football happened.
Super happy for Geno Smith on that, by the way. Just revitalized his career there.
Absolutely. And then in the nightcap, Miami over Pittsburgh 16-10. And for Monday Night Football, New England is hosting the Chicago Bears. That game is in progress as we speak.
Go Bears.
Bears.
So now let's turn our attention to me. And let me be the star of the show. Kansas City all over the San Francisco 49ers 44-23. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because I kind of was going in expecting the Niners to not win as it is. The Niners did make a trade and they got Christian McCaffrey. They paid up for him dearly. 2023 second, third, and fourth round picks and a 2024 fifth. And I knew that Christian McCaffrey was not going to be able to be playing every single play, but he was out there for a limited set of packages while he's learning the offense. And he looked great every time he got the ball. And that's what I was looking for, was just to see how he looks holding the ball, how he looks just in the offense, even though it's not going to be, full time this game. I expect his usage is definitely going to be going up as we go along. So I don't put a ton of stock into Christian McCaffrey's performance because I know he's going to get more out of it. What I am putting a lot of stock in is this is probably the worst that Jimmy Garoppolo has looked. I think it was just, I was completely uninspired. And this is, I keep harping on it. This is exactly what I was afraid of, was just mediocrity. If you're kicking field goals and the Chiefs are scoring touchdowns, that's not a formula for winning. So, and then you combine that with, you got a bunch of players back on defense, but I guess maybe they were still rusty and they just, they basically isolated Bosa and Fred Warner and said, somebody else make a play. Those two guys are not going to be making any plays. And for the most part, those guys had fairly quiet games because they were, double blocked and they were just like, they went away from them. Anywhere Fred Warner was, the ball went the other place. So the Niners have to figure out how to get other people to put pressure on the quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a different beast, and that's, he's already a future Hall of Famer, and he does things that nobody else on the field can do. So, it was kind of not going to be awesome as it is. So I don't, I kind of went in expecting the loss, and frankly, that's what I got. Tyler, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I went in with the notion thinking that Christian McCaffrey was supposed to be a red zone goal line player. They ended up using him for first downs, 30 yards on the 30-yard line on the Chiefs side, so he did look great. He looks explosive. Everything we've kind of known Christian McCaffrey to be when he was in Carolina. So I think what's interesting was that he got picked up on Thursday, learned whatever play calls he could, and played Sunday. So I was under the assumption that he was going to be a goal line player, and they didn't use him at all. In fact, they used Deebo Samuel 3 times, and he only got in the end zone. I don't think he did. I don't think he got in the end zone once. So
Deebo did not know.
Yeah. So, and now he's injured with, I think, a knee injury. He's day to day. So little questionable calls on Shanahan, and he's supposed to be this guru of drawing up plays and everything, but I think his situational play calling is still something in question. Jimmy looked pretty bad. I had enough of Jimmy by about the third quarter, but everyone got their yardages. They just didn't get touchdowns. If you look at the stats, everyone played pretty well. If you look at everyone's stat line across the board, you would have said there's no way the 49ers lost that game. I think one of the big things too was that Patrick Mahomes, the offense was only on the field 7 times and they scored 6 times. So
6 touchdowns on 7 times. Yeah. And throwing a safety. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not going to win a lot of games, and I will say that there's Jimmy G's awareness level is very questionable. There was a time with the safety, he held the ball for 8 seconds. It's not like they're getting further away from you. They're getting closer to you. So he's got to have that mental clock, especially in the end zone. There was another play where he decided to run up the middle in between 2 Chiefs players, and it made no sense as to why you would do that. Maybe he was looking down the field and just didn't have his peripherals. I don't know. So yeah, there's some questionable things that I think Jimmy G, where we've officially seen his ceiling. I don't think we're going to get much more than this. This offense that Shanahan runs is a very 10-yard and a yak offense, right? So Deebo Samuels is 10 yards and yak. He led in yaks last year. That's what we expect to come out of this offense. You're not going to see bombs being thrown down like you would normally see with other previous 49ers quarterbacks. So it's tough. I think Shanahan has probably put the hot seat even hotter on him. We all know that Jimmy's going to be gone at the end of this year, no matter what. So we'll see. Defensively, they're going to have to
I disagree. I don't think Shanahan's going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
There's no hot seat even. No, I don't think so. I don't think the seat gets hot unless they miss the playoffs this year.
They very well can.
They could. They absolutely could. But if the Niners miss the playoffs this year, that's when Shanny's seat starts to feel a little toasty going into the following year. But he's going to be the coach this year and next year for sure. There's not a question of that in my mind. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot of really bad things to happen, in my opinion. And I mean, it's possible. It certainly is, especially if Jimmy can't figure it out. But this is why you get Christian McCaffrey. You get, and I believe I heard somebody say that over the last 5 years, the 49ers now have 3 of the top 4 players in yards after contact. And that would be Debo, George Kittle, and now Christian McCaffrey. The other one in that list is Austin Eckler.
Okay.
So yeah, the Niners, they have the players to do it, especially now you got the running back. So running back, a lot of people are really excited about that price. The Rams actually drove up the price on the Niners. That's why they gave up so much. So got into a little bit of a bidding war, but they won. And now this is another, you traded away so many picks to get Trey Lance, and now you traded away a lot more picks to get Christian McCaffrey. So this literally is do or die for this year and next year. This is the window. You should be winning. Your goal is to win the Super Bowl. Go out and fucking win it, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Well, okay. So, I mean, yeah, you might have expected them to lose this game, but just looking at the score, I mean, that's like over half. Like they did like doubled the points. I'm like, were you expecting that big of a
I was
loss,
not
or?
Expecting this big of a loss. That's where my disappointment comes from. The defense just did not perform as they're capable of performing. This is such a bad game that like they scored touchdowns basically every time they had the ball. So this is, I mean, I don't know what you can say about this. You don't throw the tape out because you need that tape. You got exposed, so you got to learn from it. But also there's reason to be hopeful going forward as well. So I don't put a loss to one of the top two, maybe the top team in the AFC between them and the Bills. I don't throw a whole lot of stock into them losing. It's that they lost as bad as they did that has me a little bit worried. So.
Well, I mean, there's only up from here, right?
No,
there's still plenty down.
Still plenty of down to go. Still plenty of down to go.
No.
But speaking of up from here, the New York Giants, I mean, they did it again. You put this note in here, Tyler. What's going on, man?
Just the NFC East is just so, I'm sorry. Yeah, the NFC East is just so tough, and it makes no sense, right? I mean, Dallas, I think they pulled that one out, I believe, right?
They did. Yeah, they ended up winning.
Yeah. So, there's no breathing room. I mean, I know the Eagles are undefeated and that's a great story and all, but the Giants are a great story too. And I don't know. I mean, they're playing obviously out of their minds. They're playing like the San Francisco Giants last year, so
yeah, they're only a half game back.
Yeah, I don't know, when do we take that tag off of them and say that this isn't a fluke? Like, they're for real.
It's now.
Yeah, they held Jacksonville to the very end. I mean, that 2-minute press to be able to hold them off from, they almost scored a touchdown too, and the Giants held them off there. So I'm very impressed. That's one team that I wrote them off in the beginning of the year, and they definitely proved me wrong. So shout out to them. Congratulations.
Shout out Brian Daboll, who apparently is a pretty good offensive coach, man. He's got Danny Dimes playing well.
Yeah, exactly. And Danny Dimes was written off by the New York media like a year ago. You know what I mean?
To be fair, he deserved to be written off. In the New York media's defense, he played like shit. He deserved to be written off at that point.
He did, but look how bad his O-line was. And now this year, it's actually kind of an inspiring O-line. I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's definitely a lot better than what it has been the last 3 4 years.
No. There's a lot of things happening too. You get the O-line playing better. You get a coach that knows how to call some plays in there as well. And suddenly a guy that looked terrible, he starts playing mediocre. That looks, a lot better. And you get defense playing well. And here we go. Giants are for real. they're no slouches, but now they actually didn't pick up Daniel Jones's contract extension. So now they're going to have to either pay him at the end of the year or they're going to walk or they're going to let him walk, and the way they're winning, they're not going to be able to get a really good draft pick to pick up a new quarterback. So
yeah, not
at
anymore.
this point, I don't know. Do you give him like a 3-year deal and, say like, 60 mil, I don't know, 80 mil, something like that. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to do something because I don't think that they have better options out there if they decide to move on. But also that was the previous regime deciding not to move on from him, not these guys. So, I mean, it's just a tough call. You don't know.
They're playing
questions.
inspiring football. Saquon Barkley coming back from that injury looks great. So speaking of injuries, I know we were talking about Seattle Seahawks were in first place. DK Metcalf is now day-to-day. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out with Geno Smith not having that number one target anymore.
Marquise Goodwin is going to take over.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened this past week. Get an Olympian
Olympian track runner,
Olympian track star to do backflips on the last play of the game. Yeah.
And another out of the woodworks team that doesn't make any sense too is the New York Jets. So they just lost Breece Hall for the year. With the
RIP Breece Lightning, man.
ACL.
ACL. Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
They just did breaking news. They just acquired James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars to fill that void. So, hey man, I love it. The Jets aren't giving up.
No. They're in a position to win. The Robert Saleh knows that his job is kind of on the line, and they're going out and they're trying to make it happen. And I have a lot of respect for it. And they're not going away. So, I mean, that AFC East is pretty good as well, man. I don't know what to think.
This whole season has just been turned upside down. Like there's teams that should be in first, they're clearing that in first. There's teams that are in dead last that should not be there. It doesn't make sense. I love it. It's probably the best NFL season I've seen because I can't predict anything.
Yeah. So I mean, just checking in on the AFC East. The Bills had a bye week this week. They're 5-1. They're on top. The Jets are only half a game back. They're 5-2. Dolphins are 4-3. The Patriots are 3-3 right now. They're playing. They're playing on Monday night. So if they win tonight, they're 4-3 as well. So the entire AFC East is going to be above 500 if the Patriots pull this win off like they should, because the Bears are dog shit.
Love it. I love it. It's great. This is exactly what this is exactly what the NFL needed. More reason to have more Thursday night football games.
Yeah. God damn.
More money.
Yeah. As far as the NFC East is, the Commanders are not holding up their end of the bargain. The Commandos are 3-4. They're under 500, but the Cowboys are 5-2. Giants are 6-1. Eagles on the bye this week. They're 6-0. So, I mean,
hey, Tyler Heineke, man, he got the dub. He beat the Packers.
Yeah, they've won 2 straight to get to 3-4. So who knows? Maybe they win next week and suddenly the entire division is at 500. Again.
This makes no sense. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
Football.
Isn't that what you want? Uncertainty,
it is. And
drama.
that's the great thing too, is that the 49ers did lose and they're still not out of it. They're still in this division, and it's not like the door's closing on. The only team that I think the door is closing on, they had to win this week, and they probably have to win almost every week, was the Raiders. And that was it, and the door didn't close on them. So Chiefs are clearly probably going to win that division. But
Chargers
great.
are 4-3. The Raiders are 2-4. The Broncos are 2-5, and the Broncos have lost 4 straight. So I mean, Broncos country, let's ride to the buffet and just start housing food because we're done here.
Set up shop, boys.
I love it.
All right, so I think let's switch gears from football to baseball, and we do have a couple of notes to talk about. Bruce Bochy, he's going to be the next manager of the Texas Rangers.
Why?
It's crazy. What?
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why he would take this job. I mean, nobody succeeds in Texas except like Ron Washington went to back-to-back World Series, and then 2 bad seasons and he was fucking fired. And that makes no sense to me. You know, I mean,
if
This
you ask
Texas
Bruce
job is-
Bochy, why he took the job, whoever like, I don't know, I just felt like this is a place
Just-
to be a coach of, just felt this is a place.
I
Well,
was
okay,
retirement was boring, and I
Just
missed the
make sure
game.
just make sure you go to Amici's Pizza. Oh, they don't have that here. Go to Cece's Pizza.
Cece's.
Okay, you guys bring up a good point. Maybe he was bored with retirement, but it's just like, dude, you went out on top, man. Just like you were with the Giants, right? You know,
I know, right? It's like people
Why?
should know when to retire Tom Brady, but
Right.
here we are. So
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I don't know. He was not really huge into the analytics. I mean, he used it, but he wasn't like
he was a
breathing
gut
it
guy.
in day in day out. He was a little bit more old school with
He
it,
was a
right?
gut
So
guy.
so I do
doesn't
not
make
know
sense.
how long that this is going to work, especially if unless Texas has decided to eschew the analytics entirely. That's right. I'm using SAT level words, kids.
and then they're gonna
It's-
bring back Nolan Ryan out of retirement, and it's just
I
bring
think he-
everybody out of retirement.
I think Nolan Ryan is actually with the team in the front office.
He's in
Oh,
the
is
front
he?
office. Yeah.
Okay.
Adrian Beltre is going to be rolled out.
Next year you're gonna hear, and starting in right field, Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton.
Butterfingers.
I can still see the ball clang off of the heel of his glove from
But
2012, man.
My
I just
thing
closed
about
my
Josh
eyes.
Hamilton though was that everyone called him Butterfinger, especially here in Oakland. He literally went to the fans on the first base side, and they took a picture with them because they had a Butterfinger candy bar, and he took a picture with them and made a good sport out of it.
No,
so.
he was absolutely a good sport about it.
Well, that's good.
But
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't have any ill will toward him, but it does make me smile inside just a little bit. I just get that little ping of Schadenfreude because it directly helped the A's win the 2012 AL West championship.
You got a sweep.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have playoffs actually happening as well. The Phillies ended up winning the National League Championship Series 4-1. They clinched on Sunday. Tyler, you're wearing your Padres stuff. How you taking it, my man?
It's more like a coffin wear now at this
Mhm.
time. So no, I said last week that if Philadelphia ends up winning, I'm gonna root for them. And now that they're playing the Astros, I am 100% going to root for Philly. But
Yeah,
what a good time to be a Philly sports fan, though, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
the official stance of the SVT Sports Pod is fuck Houston now and forever. So go Phillies.
No, they played great. I believe if we go to tape, earlier in this podcast, I wrote them off. I wrote the Phillies off and said they were garbage. I said they weren't going to make the playoffs. Not only did they make the playoffs, now they're in the World Series. So I love it. I love being proven wrong. As Sam would say, a man with orthopedic shoes, I stand corrected. So
Excellent.
it's
I'm gonna
great.
steal that.
Yeah, it's great. I think the Phillies have all the tools it takes to win. Aaron Nola looks amazing. Bryce Harper looks amazing. They have great hitting. They have great pitching. I hope they win it. I really do. Philly
Yeah.
needs it. The last time was what, 2010? They need it.
2009 was their last appearance.
Yeah.
They won in 2008.
They went 3 years in a row to the playoffs, but I think they only won the one, right?
Yeah, they only won in 2008.
So, but hey, the other end of the spectrum is that Houston's done this. They've been here. They're probably more poised in this situation, so they're definitely going to be highly favored. That being said, fuck Houston. I can't stand them. I hope they lose in a 4-1 fashion.
Yeah,
But
give
we'll
them a
see.
gentleman's sweep because we're nice like that.
Yeah.
We're gentlemen, so hopefully the Phillies give them a gentleman's sweep, and then they have to grease up the polls, baby.
Oh,
So
yikes.
I know this is totally off topic here, but we never talked about it. I don't know if you guys watched when Tennessee beat Alabama in college football like 2 weeks ago. I think it was.
Oh, and then they stole the field goal posts.
They stole the
really?
posts and like stole both of them and like marching down the field and like going up to the stands with the field goal posts. So I don't know. You just made me think about when you're saying greasing up the poles, baby.
Yeah, oh yeah. The posts ended up in the water, like in the river nearby, I think, or something. And then they had the nerve to send out a fundraising email to the alumni saying, we had a great win. Do you mind donating some money so that we can buy new posts? And I'm like, you're a fucking Division 1A top tier football program with fucking Peyton Manning is like one of your alumni. Go buy your own goddamn post. Quit bugging the guys that are making, $80K a year.
Why use your own money?
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's a fair point. Why use your own money when you can take more money from somebody else that you've already taken thousands of dollars from? Yeah, fuckers. Okay, but no, that was funny, and that's good for them. I'm not huge on college football. When I do care, I generally care for Cal.
All right.
Yeah, roll on you, Bears. That's really worked out great for me.
As Marshawn Lynch would say, all these motherfuckers in the stands. Whoops.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that was a great moment.
Yeah.
For context, Cal was playing on ESPN, and it was Marshawn Lynch night, and Marshawn was actually being interviewed, and he dropped motherfucker on live television, and then he said whoops, and so like quick apology, and then he later said shit like
2 seconds later.
Yeah. It was like a sentence and a half later. He said shit and didn't apologize for that because he didn't even think nothing of it. So, God, I love Marshawn Lynch so much. I love that dude.
The FCC bills.
He don't give a shit.
I know, like he doesn't have to pay him.
Oh no. Actually, that's the thing about ESPN is technically since you're paying for it, you don't actually get like super punished from the FCC. It's more about the sponsors don't want bad words, associated with the live sports and stuff. So it's more of a financial punishment from the advertisers and stuff. So that's hopefully Skittles don't give a shit though.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime contract.
Are you kidding?
Never drop him.
Never. Okay. Any other baseball points we want to talk about before we get depressed about the fucking Astros?
No, go ahead.
No, okay.
I'm good.
Astros ended up beating the Yankees. That was a lose-lose for a lot of fans of baseball, to be honest. But I guess in my heart of hearts, I'm way more furious at the Astros than I am at the Yankees. The Yankees are just asshole bajillionaires. The Astros actively cheated. So gun to my head, I was actually I had a friend who's a Yankees fan saying, "So you're cheering for the Yankees?" And I said, "No, I'm cheering against the Astros." And I was very clear on that point.
Potato.
No,
I mean, if I had it my way, I would love it to go to Game 7 and somebody tears has a Tommy John surgery on both sides of the team.
Yeah. I was lightweight cheering for the asteroid, but that didn't happen. So moving on.
It's just a game, guys.
My fiance is happy that the Phillies are in because that's her favorite mascot in all of professional sports. Is the
Philadelphia Philly, the Philly Fanatic. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm more of a gritty man myself.
Do you think the Philly Fanatic gets paid $600,000 a year?
Not a fucking chance, man. Are you kidding me? He might pull in six figures though.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I could see him getting 150 racks or something like that. I could see that. It's good money if you can get it. I know for sure Stomper isn't getting paid that much.
No, Stomper's about to get traded to the ports for a bag of peanuts and a paper clip.
Stomper's getting 18 an hour.
Didn't you hear immediately after the season ended that Stomper wasn't under contract like every other player for the A's?
So I thought Stomper had the lifetime contract. He's the only one that is under contract.
No, man, he's going to arbitration at the end of this year.
Oh Jesus!
I thought Stomper was played by 10 different people.
No. Stomper's going to arbitration, and
you're thinking of the mascots, Tim. They rotate those guys out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the giant head runners, those guys. Yeah. Raleigh, Eck, and Ricky. Those guys, they rotate. It's always funny when there's a white dude like in the Ricky Henderson one because he wears like long sleeves and gloves, but the other white guys that are playing, the other two guys, their gloves are, not.
I just want to go on a limb and say that Ricky Henderson should never lose the big head race ever.
Absolutely not.
Ever.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no fucking reason why not. Like whoever the fastest person is in there, like that should be your winner. And I'm disappointed. Like they should find creative ways to make the other guys lose.
Yeah.
I need
something,
I need a track runner. Excuse me. I need a track runner of inside Ricky Henderson's suit to go against against me. No, against the who was it, Cincinnati or the Frozo looking dude, the guy that in the blue suit that runs extremely fast across the
shit, what's anyway.
The guy looks like Frozo. Yeah, he needs
Frozo,
to race against a track runner and Ricky Henderson. Let's see who wins. If Ricky Henderson loses that one, I'll be pissed too.
Yeah,
never lose. Ricky should never lose.
Never ever, not even in a fire. Okay. So I think that's enough baseball talk right now. Let's switch gears to NHL real quick. The Sharks,
the fire dumpster.
Yeah, dumpster fire, baby. Sharks, they finally got their first win on Thursday night, 3-2 in overtime versus the New York Rangers, which of course is David Quinn's former team that he was the manager for 3 years. And that's also where general manager Mike Greer was cutting his teeth as, assistant GM last year. So they win against their old team in a way, and they're actually 2-2 over their last week, bringing their record to 2 wins, 6 losses, and none in overtime. They're last in the Pacific still, even with the 2 wins this week. So, they were due for some wins. I knew it would happen, but also this is just not a very good team. So they're going to sell you on other stuff like the Sharks having their reverse retro jerseys, paying homage to the California Golden Seals. And you know what? I like them. I didn't want to like them, but I do. I like them. The reverse retro jerseys, I think they look great. And
are you falling for the gimmick?
I am a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm falling for the gimmick just a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to buy them. I don't know if I'm going to buy the one, but I don't know. I'll have to see.
Is that the green and yellow ones? Is it those?
No. It's going to be more tealish. It's instead of seals, it says sharks on them, but it's the more tealish looking ones. It's like a paler teal than what the Sharks normally wear.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate them. I don't hate them at all. There's some people like there's always going to be haters. Like if you,
I can't do it.
If you hate yourself,
right now, it looks like Jackie Moon and the
Flint Tropics. Yeah. Yeah, that's more of the teal that they have. It's a lighter teal. I'll have to see him in person before I make a final decision either way.
I'm gonna go ahead and just retweet this one real quick.
Yeah. So we talked about the Sharks and how terrible they are. I think it's time to talk about somebody who isn't terrible, and that would be the Golden State Warriors.
I mean,
the season started.
Their play last night was terrible.
Okay, yeah, but they ended up winning, and they're 2-1 on the season. They got the huge win on ring night. They were motivated to beat the shit out of LeBron. So,
I just wish they were more motivated to beat the Nuggets.
The second team looks a little rough right now. They look a little young, a little. They need to get some sandpaper on them, a little rough around the edges there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on that is that Wiseman is 34 games now we're in with him now, 34, 35, something like that.
Yeah, he's not even half of a full season yet.
Yeah, so he's defensively, he still has a long way to go. But what I do like is that he's not getting in scary foul trouble by like the second or the third quarter. So I think that's a big leap forward for him during games. I think that Poole and Wiseman pick and roll is a deadly action. I think they need to explore that even more than they did prior. I also think that Kuminga needs to get out there more, but I see what they're doing. They don't like Kaminga and Jermichael Green out there because they're both kind of the same position. And obviously you're going to go with someone with a little bit more experience in Jermichael Green. So I get where they're coming from. It's only game 3, but I will say that the win last night felt like an L. It just, you have a 25-point lead and you almost lose it. So didn't really feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, Kurt did not want to bring back on
No.
Steph and Draymond. But yeah,
and he went out and said that it's sink or swim. And I would say right now they're floating. They're not sinking or swimming. So second unit, they will get some grit, like you're saying. There is some work to be done, but still got to win. So you're still 2-1. So can't be mad at it.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's too early to get worried, but I mean, it's just taking note, just observing at this point. Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, it's only the third game you said, so it's still early.
It's early. I mean, there's plenty of irons to work out, but all I want is them to at least have it mostly ironed out come Christmas Day when we play Memphis, because that's gonna be a big game. And if you're not ready, you're playing like this, you're gonna get blown out every single time. So just come ready. Some roster news. PBJ, which is my new favorite nickname, Patrick Baldwin Jr., along with Ryan, and I'm drawing a blank on his first name. Sorry about that, Ryan. I'll come back to you later on that one. But they're now being set to Santa Cruz for training camp, and we'll play with Santa Cruz pretty much for the remainder of the season, for the most part. DiVincenzo left the game early yesterday with a hamstring injury. He's now relegated to day-to-day. Did not fly with the team to Phoenix, which they're playing tomorrow. So again, second unit is going to be tested again because they don't have DiVincenzo, who was a mainstay as that third rotational point guard. So we'll see what happens. Phoenix is a big game. Plus two, my favorite part's coming up, Vince. Our boy Damian Lee gets to get his ring in front of Chris Paul on Tuesday.
Yes, that is correct. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ryan Rollins is who you were looking for.
Thank you. Sorry.
No problem. No. Just had to, make sure that we get that cleared up. So that'll be fun for Damian Lee to show Chris Paul something that he can't do, which is win a chip.
Oh.
So, yep. I'll say it to his face too. I'm not lying. And I'm not saying that I have a ring. I'm just saying that Chris Paul does not. So ergo, yeah.
I love it.
But you weren't trying to get a ring.
That's right. I'm not trying to get a championship, NBA championship. That ain't me. But yeah.
Chris Paul was the first player in the NBA to break the new rule that they came out with this year, which was you cannot foul a player during a fast break unless you're going for the ball. And what happens is that the team gets to shoot free throws and they get the possession of the ball. And Chris Paul was the first one to blow it. So yay, you.
Oh man.
He's like the guy that knows every rule in the rule book, and he exploits every single rule in the rule book. So the fact that he's the one that blew it first, it just almost seems kind of befitting.
Yeah. Yeah. Poetic justice, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels great.
All right. So I think we've come to the point of the show where we just need to go over some extra points. And I did put one extra point in the notes. We have the Oakland Roots advancing 3-0 over San Diego. They're going to the USL Western semifinals against San Antonio. If you're listening and you are interested in checking out the Oakland Roots, they're on KTVU Plus. I believe it's the 28th is when this game is going to happen. So, check them out. See if you like something. Could be fun. You know
what I would like? And I don't know if this could be possible. Maybe they could partner up with like Mexican leagues or something like that. But I think it'd be cool if the MLS could do something that you see in like the Premier League. Like the MLS is the top echelon, and then like below that is whatever the Oakland Roots playing.
Yeah. So that's the USL. Yeah. So you're talking relegation and promotion.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like it'd be cool to see the Oakland Roots be promoted to the MLS, and then like San Jose Earthquakes get relegated.
Yeah, get relegated. Yeah. I think that if they were ever to do that, you would have to give a at least a 3-year, maybe even a 5-year warning that it's coming. So that way every team has every opportunity to get their shit together And then you're going to have to change the balance of the schedule because let's say the Western Conference is stronger this year. And so the teams at the bottom of the Western Conference, they're going to take a lot more L's than like the Eastern Conference teams at the bottom of that. So, I mean, you may have to end up balancing the schedule and just getting rid of conferences entirely if you were to talk relegation and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. And I don't even know if soccer is in America is interested in doing that. I think.
Well, that's why I would say, like, maybe you could partner with like the Mexican leagues, you know, because there's like, I don't know, 50 Mexican leagues, just pick a few of them. You know what I mean? So maybe some Mexican leagues will love the exposure that they get out of it. And maybe MLS loves the exposure they would get out of it from the Mexican fan base that are huge in football. So I don't know. I mean, it's just something to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't make the decision, but I just thought it would be pretty cool.
I think that would be an interesting and actually fun way to look at it. And hell, it might even make a cheap ass fucking cheapskate owner like John Fisher actually spend a goddamn penny on his fucking soccer team and his baseball team, but definitely not the baseball team. Sorry, I bumped my laptop.
Are you upset? Are you upset?
I'm a little bit upset.
You
that
sound upset.
John
you sound really
fucking
upset.
Fisher. Yeah, I'm actually rage shaking a little bit.
I think that would be a way to limit poor ownership. I mean, I know that we're using this as an example. You know, Wrexham was basically relegating off the fact that they were the third oldest football team in all of the world, you know. So, but in reality, like, they weren't making money, you know, and they needed to get promoted to get better players to make more money. Like, maybe this is a way to kind of limit out and weed out the bad ownerships that are within MLS and things of that nature. So
make John Fisher start actually losing money, and then maybe he'll actually start, you know, paying for quality players, or he'll get the fuck out. Either way, I would love that because I'm sick of him. And I know that we weren't planning on going on a John Fisher rant today, so I'm just going to stop right there. But fuck you, John Fisher.
I have a great idea. So, you know how they were giving little pieces of land, Scottish land, you know, you just do that to any actor who's in a film, say, here you go, here's a little piece of a team, go take care of it. Ryan Reynolds and have been on this team now.
If they would sell the team, I would be curious if a big name actor or something like that would buy it. Like, so Peter Guber, no, it wasn't Peter Guber. Who's the other owner for the Warriors?
Joe Lacob.
Joe Lacob was interested in buying the A's long time ago. Obviously John Fisher turned him down. You know, things that could have been, would have been, you know, we can always reminisce on the what ifs, right? So, but I wonder if he were to sell the Earthquakes, would Joe Lacob buy a soccer team and like try and win with them? You know what I mean? So I don't know how much money there would be into it, as opposed to like baseball's got buku's amounts of money. And
yeah, so I mean, the money stream is obviously not as deep as baseball, but I mean, there are ways to make money in MLS. You know, I mean, the league is growing, you know,
yeah,
and it's, I mean, and they're not growing because they're not making money. So
your three most popular teams are, you know, the LA Galaxy, the New York Red Bull, and I would say like Kansas has got a big fan base, a lot more than I expected.
You know what?
Huge.
Seattle's got a lot of people that come
Sounders,
to those games. The Sounders, yeah. I mean, so it is a viable product if you actually give a shit about putting quality out on the pitch.
Yeah, and that's the key, right? You got to care, and if you don't care, like, your fans aren't going to care. So,
you know, I'm really, I mean, I don't know what we could do, but I am very curious to see how far could we push this up the flagpole to say, hey, could we do a league? You know, like, this is how you, and it'd be great timing to discuss it because people are really high on it with the whole, you know, World Cup coming up. So I don't know, I'd be kind of curious to be like, you know, flirt this out in the universe and see what happens and be like, hey, would you guys be interested in like partnering up with the Mexican league and having different leagues levels?
Yeah. Something, I mean, maybe you do like a Champions League or something, you know, like a CONCACAF Champions League. I know that they've tried it before. And the US has their own sort of like FA Cup style thing where it's every team in America playing for each other. Sacramento Republic, another USL team, they were in the championship. I think they ended up losing that, but I mean, so that could be a lot of fun seeing one of the lower teams go up against some of the bigger teams and, you know, make some noise.
Yeah.
You put it out into the universe. So
Yeah.
You never know.
We'll see what happens. If anyone's listening and they're very curious, and you can say, hey, talk to these people. I mean, hey, I'll send out an email. Just tell me.
I'll tell you what, if I end up winning the lottery, I might see how much it would cost to acquire
600 mil.
600 mil. I mean, I think right now the lotto is at 560 or something. So I'm not quite there yet. I may need another backer or two, but
so are you talking about buying the A's?
No.
I couldn't buy the A's if we wanted to.
I couldn't. I would much rather buy the A's, but I think the soccer team could be had.
They are. I think the A's are worth like $1 billion. Like,
oh yeah, they're over $1 billion. They're worth over $1 billion. So
yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anywho,
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pipe dreams. Definitely.
Okay, so do you have anything else you want to add into the show, gentlemen?
I do not.
I'm good.
Let's go Phillies.
Yeah, go Phils.
Phillies.
All right. So follow us on social media, SVT Sports Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Send us emails, svtsportspod@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm about to sneeze.
Oh!
Okay. So I'm Vince. That's Tyler. And that's Tim. It's been a pleasure, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, guys.